Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm bringing you a conversation with YouTube golf's most creative creator, Josh Mayer. I'm so excited for this conversation. You guys have been really enjoying a lot of the more nerdy YouTube golf videos I've been talking about. How much do they make videos? Diving into a lot of the back end of YouTube golf, which is exactly what Josh and I are going to do today. We're also going to talk about his channel, ideas, and how to grow a channel in the YouTube golf space. So if that's something you're interested in, be sure to stay tuned. And if you want to learn more, I've started consulting in the space with creators big and small, helping individuals grow channels from the ground up or evolve on the channels they have, ideas, packaging, channel management, all of that. So if you're interested in learning more, you can reach out to me on Instagram. I'll leave a link down below. I'd love to chat with you. Anyways, hope you guys enjoy. Let's get into it. All right, Josh Mayer, welcome to the channel, buddy. It's been a long time coming. I wanted to have you on. I think you are one of my favorite YouTube golf creators because you don't do what everyone else does. You make YouTube videos that are referencing golf versus golf videos that are just on the YouTube platform. And I think it's really cool, and I want to get into all of it today. I want to chat about your channel. I want to chat about YouTube golf, the future of YouTube golf in general. But really quick, give me, why aren't you just making Grant Horvath, Bob Does Sports, videos, just you playing golf? Like, what made you come into the space and take these more unique general YouTube ideas and apply them to golf?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess it's just strategy. Like, I'm trying to make YouTube videos for a living and, to get as many views as I possibly can. Like, that's kind of the goal. I think if you look at YouTube golf specifically right now, it's like there's kind of like four people at the top making pretty much the same videos, like Bryson, Grant, Brian Bros, GM Golf. And like they have cornered this market of competitive 18-hole vlog golf videos, like going and playing these awesome courses. And they're all phenomenal golfers. And, that is kind of their value proposition, is like, watch me play amazing golf. And then also they have like a personality aspect to it of like, they're all good dudes. They all are relatable. And I think maybe starting out making YouTube videos, I initially like attempted to do that kind of stuff and kind of do that style. And obviously nobody wants to really watch me. I'm not very good at golf. Nobody wants to watch me play 18 holes and shoot 90. And so I think just kind of out of necessity of, wanting to grow my YouTube channel, I started just like really diving into YouTube strategy, looking at what these bigger creators are doing, how they're formulating stories, how they're like taking these maybe more general concepts of things that relate to like a more broad audience. And so I'm taking those ideas and then kind of applying them to golf and like putting a golf spin on them. And so, yeah, I would say for anybody who hasn't watched my videos, that's kind of what my videos look like, is just general entertainment ideas applied to golf.
I think a lot of people who are watching this will have seen your videos before, but maybe don't know they've seen them. You know what I mean? Because you do a really good job. And I talk about this all the time, is like, in order to really be like top end YouTube successful, and even in the golf space and whatever, it's like the more you can make amazing ideas and videos where you as a character are just kind of taking people through this story that they want to hear, the more likely you are as a smaller creator, which you're definitely not a smaller creator now, but like as a growing creator, and when you were smaller, you're so much more likely to get those new eyeballs when it's not just reliant on you. Like if you're just like, hey, I'm Josh Mayer, if with 500 subscribers, watch me play golf, you can do that, but you need like elite level YouTube knowledge and YouTube golf knowledge to make that work. Like you need to be working with somebody, or have, like, if you're brand new to the space, you probably don't know how to make those videos properly. It's much more manageable if you can come up with ideas where the character don't matter as much. You know what I mean? Like, as far as just like they don't need to be attached to you already. Because right now Grant could upload, literally anything and get 100,000 plus views on it. Like, and that's sounds like a low estimate, but like he could upload a black thumbnail with no title and it would get over 100,000 views. People are so attached to Grant's personality. So, but when you're coming up, I feel like that's something you kind of unlocked, even with your early series, which was watching you play golf, your first kind of breakthrough in playing golf every day till I break par. That was you playing golf. It was sort of focused around you. but it also wasn't. It was like this like mix of like a Survivor, like almost like a Mr. Beast challenge, but applied to golf. What sparked that specific idea? And was that kind of the beginning of you being like, here's a way to kind of, yeah, make this about more than just me?
Yeah, I think to your point of like making my videos more about the ideas, Colin and Samir, who are, have a podcast talking about the creator economy and YouTubers and stuff, they kind of break it down into there are personality-based creators and then there are ideas-based creators. And so, for example, like an ideas-based creator would be Mr. Beast, and then a personality-based creator would be Cody Co, or somebody that isn't doing a whole lot. Yeah, Casey Neistat, yeah, right. And so that kind of unlocked something for me of like, okay, nobody knows who I am on this platform to begin with. And so if I want to even scratch the surface of getting views, like I have to lead with an idea, with a good idea. And so I don't even know if I knew it at the time, but that first series was kind of that. I wasn't 100% sure why it worked, which like I use worked loosely. I think I maybe got like 10,000 views on those videos, but it was a good starting point. And it also, I guess for people who haven't watched, like that series, I posted maybe 3 times a week for, I think I posted like 55 videos in that series. And so that didn't know it at the time either, but like was just getting me so many reps on making YouTube videos and just like making thumbnails and just understanding a little bit more like what people want to watch, what they want to click on, like what actually hooks an audience, what is just an interesting idea that people would want to watch. And so yeah, that was kind of the first taste of that. Obviously, hopefully I've gotten a little bit better at, those ideas since then. But yeah, that was kind of, I guess, how that started.
How annoyed were you by the end of that series of like just putting your iPhone on a tripod behind you, walking over to the ball, hitting the shot, walking back, picking it up, picking up your bag, walking? Like that is, for anyone who's self-recorded a golf video, it sucks. I don't like it.
Bro, it's such a grind. And then also I was playing the same course every single day. Like,
oh man.
So I was waking up at like 7 a.m. just playing the back nine of this course that would let me get out and film before anybody else is out there. So yeah, it was very repetitive. I'm surprised that even 10,000 people watch those videos.
What were you doing job wise at the time when you started that series?
So at the time, I was working at a golf course. I was doing some just like working in a pro shop, and then luckily for me, like short form stuff worked out a little bit earlier, just like TikTok stuff. And so I was still making a little bit of money from TikTok, just from brand deals and stuff.
Okay. Where were you at on TikTok at that point?
So I feel like numbers were inflated on TikTok, but I was at like 1.5 million followers on TikTok, but it didn't.
Holy.
I know. I feel like I tell people that it's like, okay, but also didn't really mean much at the time,
right.
To be honest.
Yeah. That's fair.
What other than just like, some brand deals, but
were you able to like go full time as a creator from that? Or were you still
yeah, I mean, I technically like could have, but
yeah.
It wasn't. We would have been scraping by.
It would have been scraping by.
Yeah. Scraping by.
Well, I think that's something that a lot of creators or aspiring creators don't realize too, is that like there's investment. The bigger you get, the more investment there is, because like you want to keep elevating the content. And like for you to go from like, okay, you're just making TikToks, that's obviously just you. Even your first series, that's obviously just you. But as you start going up, I mean, you're kind of an exemption to the rule, I think, because you are sort of a bit Ryan Trahaney in your style, where you do keep it like, I think pretty tight. Like I don't think you have like a big crew of videographers following you around in every video like you would need to if you were doing, a Grant Horvath, like, TPC Sawgrass major cut video. My point is though, is that a lot of the time that like lower entry level, creator of like, oh, okay, I'm making $50,000-$60,000 a year off brand deals or whatever, I'm going to go full time. But then you hit maybe a wall where you're like, okay, well, I want to elevate this content, but like, crap, now I need to spend money. So like, maybe I should have a job so I can, use this 60 grand to reinvest in the channel kind of thing. Was that ever like a point for you, an inflection point of like wanting to do more? But because I assume your spend on videos is pretty high. You're not maybe paying people, but I mean, you built a simulator. That can't have been cheap.
Yeah, I feel like my strategy with that is just at this point, just try and keep my burn as low as possible. So just like not going crazy, not like buying a house or anything. I'm just like renting an apartment. And yeah, right now I pretty much do everything myself. My wife will film stuff for me if I need a second person filming. And then, sometimes I'll have people help me out with thumbnails, but that's pretty much it. And so that honestly is a good way for me. I feel like it almost forces me to be more creative in like the ideas that I come up with and how I'm going to film them. And also like just, I guess like the videos I'm making are just very different from what other golf creators are making. And so there's just not as much of a need to have, two cameras out on a golf course with me and a full-time editor or anything like that.
Do you have any like strategies that you're implementing to stay like lean? Because I think that's something that creators really do struggle with, is like this, when you start seeing a bit of success, your brain goes to like, all right, I should hire an editor, I should hire a videographer, I should, do XYZ. Like, how are you balancing like wanting to grow as big as you can with still, I think, a good strategy of, like you said, trying to keep your burn low? Because a lot of creators get in over their heads, whether it be like their own personal expenses, like a house, car, or whatever, or even just through staffing. You try to hire too quickly. You try to build a team because you see that's what all the big creators have. So you want that, and then you just get so strapped that you put yourself in a tough spot.
For sure. And it's definitely it's a tough industry to spend a lot of money into. Like it's like your income is so variable depending on. I mean, it's kind of like an art form, and so it's like tough to predict things. And so I guess for sure the strategy is just keep everything as lean as possible, and then I'm trying to think what was the second part of the question.
Just like, how do you balance that with like still trying to grow though, and still trying to have your channel like build as much as possible?
Yes. I feel like for my videos, I guess the reason up to this point I haven't hired an editor, I feel like with my videos, can you hear that dinging? Or is that? Okay, cool. I feel like with my videos, they're very like story based and very like style based, like how I edit. And so I feel like they're a reflection of like kind of what's going on in my head and how I like to watch videos and like what creators I watch and like their like inspiration on me. And so I feel like that is maybe one of my bigger value props in just like the golf space or just in YouTube in general. And so, I don't know. I haven't looked outside of that because it's working to some degree at this point. I think in order to scale, I think I'll probably have to hire an editor and teach somebody how to like edit in my style. But I also think there's a relatability factor on YouTube as well of like, you can set yourself apart if you edit in a certain style and you film in a certain style, and like these lower productions of like, I feel like I talk about Ryan Trahan so much, but like, he's literally making 20 million view videos. A lot of it is shot on his phone. He's got one mic. He's, selfie videoing. He's setting things up on a tripod, and it just like really, really feels relatable. And like that, I think that's just so valuable on YouTube.
I think it also is refreshing in our space because so much of the top content has gone to like I don't know, I bet you at this point Grant's shooting half his videos on like Red cameras. Like it's actually insane, like the production level that goes into some of these videos. Like I think it was their I don't remember which major cut it was, but one of these ones, Sky just like went nuts on the intro edit, and I'm just like, this is a movie. Like this is like Oscar nominated. Like this is crazy. But like it almost starts, and I think Grant, it's perfectly fine for him because Grant's reached this like mystique level of like he's almost like a celebrity now. But like as far as like how I think audience views him, but he's almost getting away from what YouTube kind of is in a way, which is like, you aren't supposed to feel untouchable. You are supposed to kind of feel a little relatable in some ways. And it's not to say what he's doing isn't going to keep working. It totally is. But it's a different path than, like you said, a Ryan Trahan, even a Mr. Beast. Like Mr. Beast talked for a long time about how he chose to shoot in 1080p because it looked more like accessible to people, and it looked more like real and not produced, not this highly studio produced thing. And I think that's something that with your content specifically, it does kind of just feel like I'm there with you in your videos. Like I'm experiencing the emotions you're feeling with you versus just like I'm sitting back and watching something happen in front of me, you know?
For sure. No, 100%. I mean, that's kind of the goal. I think, I think maybe what I lack in, like camera and like video quality and like, having someone like a professional help me do stuff. I think I try and maybe make up for in storytelling and authenticity and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's even with my channel, man. Like I get so many comments all the time. Like, why don't you like set up a real background? Like, why isn't your socks and your deodorant in the background of your video? And I'm like, I don't know, man. Go watch Kai Cenat or like I Show Speed. Like those guys don't really have
Yeah.
these like Peter McKinnon like studio setups behind them. And like I think there is something a bit more like down to earth and relatable and like
100%.
digestible about just like, just be like, it doesn't have to be this
Yeah.
big thing. So it's something we all balance with. But I want to talk about creator business for a little bit because I've started making these videos in the last few months on my channel, which is like the how much they make videos. So I did one on Grant and that went really well. I think it has like 90,000 views right now. And I made one the other day about top earning channels from 2024. And that one's been crazy steadily climbing. So like people are very interested in this, but I think it's from a lack of like understanding and knowledge. So I'd love to chat about it a little bit. What has shocked you the most being someone who understands the general entertainment side of YouTube and now is seeing the YouTube golf side of YouTube? What are like some of the things that have shocked you the most about like how we're able to build businesses in the golf space from anywhere from, a CPM level to brand
Yeah.
partnerships and, the size our channels are at compared to, general entertainment?
Yeah. I mean, I think, golf specifically, as far as like AdSense goes, isn't a great. It's a good niche because, it's an older audience. It's an audience that is like willing to spend money, and like golf equipment is expensive, and companies. It's very competitive for golf companies out there to advertise on YouTube videos that have our audience, and so. Yeah, I mean, CPMs and RPMs are definitely higher in the golf space, similar to like in the finance space on YouTube, like because the niche and the industry is like worth more, and like people are willing to spend more money on the products that would relate to that industry. Like those creators make more from AdSense, so that's one really really big positive about the golf space of just like being able to maybe make a living quicker than you would in a general entertainment space. And then kind of coupled with that, it's the same with companies. Like if you can build a niche audience that there's, a small group of people that are interested all in this one specific thing, sponsorships and advertisements and everything, is just a lot more valuable for those companies. So it's a lot more valuable for a company like Tacomo to sponsor somebody like me or Grant that have this specific audience, like just of golf viewers, and they're going straight to their audience. And so that's kind of another thing where the views lack, maybe, or like the ceiling for views lack. It's those. The 200,000 views that I'm getting is more valuable for golf companies.
I would say the 200,000 views you're getting is probably as valuable as like 2 million views in general entertainment.
Yeah, you could argue that. You could argue that.
As far as at least a CPM ratio, because like even if you're like not so the YouTube golf CPMs, for people who don't know and haven't seen any of my videos about it, it's like, I would say a low YouTube golf CPM or low YouTube golf RPM. So the actual amount the creators getting paid from YouTube, from all the creators I've talked to, like most of the big dogs would be shocked to see less than a $25 RPM on an hour plus long video, which means per 1,000 views, they're making at least $25. A lot of them a lot higher than that more consistently. Whereas like Mr. Beast, to go back to him, he's talked many times about a great RPM for him is like $3. So like just by the math, like if you were to get, 2 million views on a general entertainment video, the CPM is going to be way lower, say $5, versus in the YouTube golf space, you can get way more money with way less views, even though the view ceiling is lower. The reason I'm bringing this up for you specifically is because I think you have the unique ability to move into that space if you ever wanted to. Your ideas and the way you create content is very applicable outside of just the golf space. But are you staying in golf because of the business aspects of the niche, or just because it's a niche in general, and niches are better for smaller channels to build in. What's kind of the strategy behind why you're staying in the golf space versus like going outside of it?
Yeah, I would say just first and foremost, I really enjoy golf. I love golf. And so from that standpoint, it's fun to kind of do something different in the golf space. Like I enjoy being creative, and I think there's a lot of opportunity for creative videos in the golf space. And my channel's still growing, so like that's a ton of fun. And then I feel like from the general entertainment side, like as soon as you step out into, making a video about, hotels or drive-throughs or airplanes, like you're directly competing with Ryan Trahan and Mr. Beast and all these, massive creators that, have been doing it for a while and really know what they're doing. And, I'm an okay editor, but also at the end of the day, like, Ryan's got a team of editors that are all pretty spot on and they know what they're doing. And so it's just a way bigger ocean. And so I think for me, it's just like really fun to stay in the golf space and to kind of just create a name for yourself there. And then, also just like more stability from sponsorships. And it's kind of fun to build that out as well. So
how do you think creators in golf build businesses? Because we were talking earlier about like, it is kind of unstable, and your AdSense, like right now, for example, for people who don't know, CPMs are down quite a bit on average. I think it's a lot to do with the market. I think, time of year a little bit, but also there's more creators now. There's more golf eyeballs to be shared upon, and the more supply there is, the lower the price is going to be for brands to compete for those ad spots. So the CPMs are a little bit down. Maybe some creators are feeling that. How do you think golf creators scale a business outside of just AdSense?
I think sponsorships are a huge part of that, partnering up with companies that need reach and, want to get their products in front of people. And then I think the playbook on like starting some sort of like CPG product, I think that's kind of, even from a general entertainment side, like that's kind of the playbook for a lot of creators and like how they build a company outside of just their, name, image, and likeness on YouTube. And so yeah, I think that like that's a obviously like super viable option, and again like super valuable for people in a niche as well. Like you already know, what the golf audience wants to buy, and so I think coming up with some sort of product or brand, it makes it a little bit easier. So I haven't done that yet, but like I think for a lot of guys, I'm sure that's kind of the end goal, is to create some sort of business outside of your YouTube channel that is a product you can sell to people and bring people value that way. And then, it's a lot easier to scale a product business, and it's a lot easier to like maintain that long term than it is to, post YouTube videos on a weekly basis. So
I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, because I obviously have mine, but like the choice from like a Grant to partner with Tacomo, become a part owner, partner with Primo, become a part owner, versus starting his own apparel company. Or,
yep.
I couldn't see him starting a club company, but like the apparel company feels way more creator aligned and average for a creator to do. What do you think is the incentive for him to do that versus start his own business that he owns 100% of?
Yeah, I think it's a great move. I think Grant is just essentially letting the people who know how to make products and do products well, let them do their thing. And then he knows how to make videos well and grow an audience and get people excited about stuff. And so he's making the smart move of just kind of having some synergy there with these companies and doing his thing that he really knows how to do well, letting them do their thing that they really know how to do well, and then kind of meeting in the middle.
I think you're right. I'd love to hear your take on this, but like I feel like it is almost the CPG thing for creators, especially ones who don't have any background in like a product-based business or anything like that. It can almost be a bit of a trap, because we all have this thought process because of how we've had, successful brand integrations where we promote a product and people buy it, that we just think, all right, all we have to do is talk about something and people are going to buy it. And that's just it. But the problem is that a lot of the products we promote are good products because we vet them to make sure we actually like them and believe in them. But also the companies that are paying us have the money to pay us, which means they've done something right to get enough money to be able to market something like this and grow. So they're at a point where clearly their product is at least slightly battle tested. The problem comes when you start to create your own business and you don't realize that like your NIL might help with like sales week one, but if your product sucks, which like it's a lot harder than people think to make like an actually good, valuable product, like just go to the PGA Superstore or Super Show, PGA Show, that's it, PGA Show, and like every year and see all the new products and like how many of those actually make it past year like 2 or 3, like not many, just like any other business. And I think a lot of creators will dump a lot of their hard-earned money into a CPG brand and, you know, see great response for the first couple weeks, but like in order to have a successful product, you need reoccurring sales. It's like not just the first sale that matters. And so to me, I think what Grant's doing is he's like, he's eliminating a lot of the risk of if he was going to go in on something on his own. And he's also eliminating a lot of the cost. And you could probably argue that the startup cost of a business, like a real legit apparel company, like if he was truly trying to make apparel as good as Good or as good as Primo or as good as Roback, in order to do that, he would have to create something that has, you know, an upfront cost that might even counteract the loss in only being a part owner in something like Primo in the first couple of years, you know? So I think it's really cool. And I think a lot of people just don't see that. A lot of us creators and people get caught up in the sexiness of starting your own brand or company, but like it's a whole nother thing. And then, I mean, on the flip side of that too, like if you start a brand or a company and it requires a ton of your time and you pull time away from the channel, which we see so many times in the creator economy, you start putting all this time into your product and your channel because it's doing super well, but you put way less time and effort into your YouTube videos, and your YouTube videos either get less frequent or get less good. They start to suck more. Once your channel dies, everything dies with it. The only reason you have this successful CPG brand at the beginning is because of your channel. And I think a lot of creators kind of lose focus in that.
Yeah, I think a large part of it too just has to do with how deep your audience is and like how much you've built it up, and then and not doing something like that too early. Like just chill out, take your time, and like Ryan Trahan's candy brand is blowing up, but like he's got such a dedicated audience. You know, he was so strategic in how he launched everything and how he's building everything. And so yeah, I feel like there's a lot of people that launch stuff too early, or like a Phase Rug would be an example of this, of, you know, he makes good videos, gets a lot of views on videos, but maybe doesn't have quite that like deep dedicated audience. And he tries to launch a candy brand, and, you know, sales are great. Like you said, sales are great for the first couple months, but then it eventually kind of fizzles out. So
what advice would you give like a desiring creator who's like really wants to get into the YouTube golf space and is going to start a channel and like doesn't just want it to be for fun? They want it to become their full-time job. What advice would you give them? It's very general, but
I would say just like right off the rip, I would say quantity over quality. Like just do the bare minimum to get videos out there. So just focus on thumbnail, title, first 30 seconds, and just post, because you will learn. Like if you make 50 videos in 6 months or 5 months, like you will learn so much from every single post, and like you can't really quantify that. Like obviously do your research and do as much as you possibly can to like make those videos great, but I think just strictly just starting out, I think there is something to be said about quantity over quality, and just like hyper focusing on the things that you need to focus on and not worrying about the rest. And then I guess my other advice would just be like try and do something different. Like don't like it's going to be really, really tough, specifically in golf. Like it's going to be really tough to gain any traction if you're doing the same style of videos that Grant's doing or Good's doing, just because, you know, you're directly competing with them. And if somebody has an hour to watch a video, they're probably going to watch, you know, Grant Horvat's videos because they know Grant Horvat, and then not choose to watch yours. So yeah, do something different. And I would say just post just a ton. Yeah.
No, it's good. It's interesting advice. I want to pick that apart for a minute because like I agree with you, but it's the opposite of what you should do if you know what you're doing. If that makes sense.
Agreed.
You know? So it's like, I think it's important to clarify that too, where it's like, you know, if you actually that the reason why we're suggesting that, and I am with you. Like my first channel, I made a video every other day for 100 days and then every day for 100 days. So I made 200 videos in 300 days or 250 days or whatever. And I learned so much. All those videos got like, 10 to 50 views a video. But after doing that, you learn so much. And if you are coming in with nothing, it is the OP strategy to just get the reps, to try to make your videos 1% better every time. Just like correct one little thing, like one little thing in the title, one little thing in the thumbnail. Pay a ton of attention to, if a video worked, try to hyper analyze why. Why did this video get 100 views when all my other videos are getting 10 views? Like, what about it? The idea, the packaging, the first 30 seconds, the whatever. Why could it be doing better? And then try to like buccaneer that idea. Try to do something similar but different to that idea to try to build on that. But it is funny because in the inverse, if you come in and you hire someone like you, or you hire someone like me, and you have all that knowledge built in, it's the exact opposite. It's like, look, we're gonna make one really awesome video a week, and we know the ideas, we know how to do it, and we're gonna like set quality and whatever apart. But the problem is like, unless you're coming in with that knowledge and with like that expertise of like, you and I have made literally thousands of videos on this platform, like you need to put those reps in first,
100%. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you just learn so much from every single upload. You can't like quantify that.
Do you have like a part of YouTube golf you think is going to grow and you think is going to potentially shrink this year? Like whether it be like a content, a niche within the niche almost, a style of content that's more desirable by the audience right now, one you think that's maybe a little overdone that might fade out? I'd love to hear your thoughts kind of on where you see it going this year.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know. I guess like my hypothesis or my like theory is I think there's a lot of people that are kids that are coming up right now that are, getting into high school, who have grown up watching YouTube videos. They've grown up watching Ryan Trahan and have grown up watching all of these people that make general entertainment videos, a little bit more fast paced, a little more like storytelling. And I think a good crop of those kids are going to start being interested in golf as well, and like are probably golfers, and like that's their form of entertainment is watching golf videos. And so I personally think like you can't go wrong like making videos that really, really work well on YouTube in a general entertainment space, and also a like golf space. And so I think I think there's just going to be a little bit more of an appetite for faster paced storytelling golf videos that like actually I guess are optimized for YouTube, if that makes sense. And then, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's tough to say because like Bryson's crushing it, Grant's crushing it, Brian Bros are crushing it. Like, their videos are doing awesome, and they get a ton of views, and like they have just built these awesome communities and like really, really have built so much depth. But also like just from like a YouTube standpoint, like the videos are just a little bit slower and maybe satisfy the like a little bit more of an older, like more seasoned audience that really want to just sit back, relax, and watch a YouTube video. And so I think maybe my strategy is like trying to just go the other direction and pick up on the people that are more used to watching general entertainment videos and a little bit of a quicker pace of editing, having a B storyline in every video. There's a little bit just, I guess, more there from I don't know, like a optimization perspective. I don't know if that.
I hear it. No, I hear it.
Sense.
I would say like the Grant, the Bryson, those types of videos. Those like, I mean, I would say Bryson probably has been a slight bit more creative out of all of them recently, and doing things that are a little different. But like that style of content, like the Major Cut series is a great example. Like that is for golf fans who want a little bit more than just a traditional golf broadcast, but golf fans in the sense of like they're used to sitting down for hours at a time and
Yeah.
watching someone on a screen play golf with no interaction. So now you give them 2 hours versus 4 hours and way more interaction than they're used to. That's so satisfying, but it's still relaxing. It fits a different mold, checks a different box. I don't think that will ever completely die. Well, it'll never completely die, but I don't even think it'll get less popular than it is now. But I agree with you in the sense that I do think there's an increasing appetite from that for content like yours, and, you know, like even, again, some of Bryson's videos that are a bit more unique and not just play 18 holes of golf, because it does bring golfers who aren't golf fans into golf content more. And what I mean by that is like the casual, you know, 90 to 120 weekend golfer who goes out, has never watched a PGA Tour broadcast in their life, but they see this golf adjacent piece of content that when they click on it, it can hold them for more than just, oh, watch me hit golf shots, you know, but it's still touching on a hobby they enjoy, but it's not overwhelming them in a way that, like, they would never watch a PGA Tour broadcast, so they're probably not going to watch a Major Cut Series video, you know?
For sure.
So it's just, I do think that niche has been relatively untapped in the past because so much content has just been like almost an expansion on what people are already consuming in golf and just giving it to them with more personality, cameras closer to the faces, whatever, but still 18-hole match-based formats. Whereas now you have the opportunity to do things that are different, you know?
Yep. Yeah. When I think about content and when I'm coming up with video ideas, I think of like it's got to check all three boxes of core audience, casual audience, and new audience. So there's kind of this just Venn diagram of, okay, you know, can a core hardcore golfer that watches a Bryson DeChambeau video or a Grant Horvat video be interested in this? If it checks that box, then I move to the casual audience of, okay, somebody who's plays golf on the weekend sometimes and knows what's going on, but maybe isn't like that into golf. Like, can they be interested in it? Check that box. And then a new audience would be somebody who, you know, maybe has watched one PGA Tour event or has played golf twice, and they're scrolling YouTube. And it's like, can I also check that box? And so some of my videos maybe are a little bit too much in the new audience, and I'm kind of trying to find the balance of all three of those. But I do think there is kind of a Venn diagram where you can satisfy all three of those and really build an audience around that and kind of have that be the driving force behind the channel.
Mm-hmm. Do you think there's any like movement in the space towards more like raw, less produced style content? Do you think we'll ever see like even like your golf every day? Like, do you think someone will come out and do something like that and it will ever get hundreds of thousands of views? Or do you think there will always be a minimum barrier of either like idea or like quality in the YouTube golf space where you have to check both? Basically, my question is like, do you think a Sam Sulek could ever exist in YouTube golf?
I personally don't. I think Sam Sulek
I'm leaning more towards that now. I used to think there could be, but yeah, I'm leaning more towards no.
I think Sam Sulek is such an outlier, and like also him just as a person is intrinsically like it's interesting. He's like intriguing, like psychologically, just from a, you know, he's jacked out of his mind. Like every thumbnail that he posts is still like an intriguing thumbnail. And yes, his videos are slow. He doesn't edit. But he's also just like, I mean, he's just an interesting dude. I think that is his value proposition, is he's just huge. And like, there's some value add of like, he knows what he's doing, working out and stuff. But I wouldn't say, like, I think golf content now is already so similar to that. Like it is very like lo-fi, outside of like a production, like camera quality standpoint, it's very lo-fi. It's very just, you're with the person. You feel like they're golfing with them. There's not a ton of cuts. It's not like heavily edited. And so I think it's kind of already in that realm. I think it would be tough for somebody other than like Kyle Berkshire to do something like that. Like you have to just like be intrinsically so interesting or have like some insane quality about yourself or just like so different in order to like actually build an audience around that.
Mm-hmm. Cool, man. All right, buddy. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I've loved chatting this stuff, and I know you do too. So I was like, there's nobody I would rather have on to talk like YouTube golf nerd stuff than you. And I think what you've been doing on your channel is like, it's just so refreshing. Like that's the best way I can describe it. Like I get excited when you post, especially in the last like 4 to 6 months. Like the videos you've been posting are just like, they're intriguing, they're palate cleansing, they take my passion for golf, but they interest me more than videos I've seen like 40 times on the platform. So you're doing a great job, man. I love it.
I appreciate you, dude. I appreciate you. Like, yeah, anytime I get a chance to talk YouTube and golf stuff, I'm all over it. So
anything you want to leave the people with, any teases, anything you want to shout out, or any videos you got coming up that you can tease that are exciting?
Dude, I'm working
any
on a
big
video.
collabs?
I'm working on a video right now of I hired an expert for every part of my golf game. So I'm hiring a different professional coach for each part, so like chipping, putting, driver, stuff like that. So that'd be fun. And then yeah, other than that, not really. I feel like
you got to go one at a time.
Subscribe to the channel. Yeah, subscribe to the channel. That'd be sick.
There you go. All right, Josh. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. Great chatting today.
Appreciate you, brother.